Good morning, everybody. Today is, oh, my camera's a little high right now. Let's get this a little lower. See if that helps a little bit. Anyways, good morning. Today is Wednesday, May 6th. If you haven't heard already, there seems to be some pretty good progress on peace talks with Iran. So if you guys don't know already, oil pulled back pretty significantly overnight when the news came out, but I think it's starting to rebound a little bit and starting to move higher, but we'll get into that in a minute. Let's get into some economic data before we get into the daily routine here. Let me get this to Wednesday. Wednesday, you have some Fed speak at 8:30. After that, crude oil inventories. It's a yellow folder, but I think there's going to be some weight on this number right here. So we'll see what happens there. And then there's some more Fed speak at about 12 o'clock. I'm hoping not to be trading during then. So before we get into things, if you haven't done it already, go to the website QOLTrading.com. And then on the first link that you'll see up here is Discord. If you click on that Discord link and you want to learn more about our strategies, you click Learn Our Strategies, and then it'll bring you to a page where you can schedule a call. It's usually about 7 days out, 15 to 30 minutes with me, and then I can go over different strategies and different things that we do. And then aside from that, you can join our Discord community by hitting that link. And then lastly, if you come down here, put your name, email address in here, and hit join the QOL circle, you will get our weekly newsletter that we put out on Sundays. We've put out 7 editions already, and in that newsletter, we pretty much go over the week in review, and then we kind of talk about what's ahead for the following week of trading. And then if you do click on the Discord here, it'll bring you to this station this channel right here, the WAP station. You can join for free. And then if you're on the channel for a little while and you want to upgrade, you can hit the upgrade to our trade desk, of where we do live trading from 9:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern time. I trade Tesla options and go over the strategy and when I enter a trade, and you see it live. And I also answer questions as well. So about an hour and a half per day. That's a big bang for your buck versus our other mentorship programs that we have here. So when you do get on the Discord channel, one thing you'll get, this is all for free. These stations right here, this pre-market analysis. Every morning I post a link, so you can click on that link and get notification there to bring you to where we are right now. And then I have a levels channel here, so if you have any certain stocks you want me to go over and make some levels, I'll do those levels for you. And then if you want to get upgraded to that, here's a link right here for upgrading to the trade desk. Very simple. You click on that link and it brings you to where I had you before, where you can join the trading channel for a nominal fee. And then right here, once you join, you click on this and it will bring you to the area where we do the live trading, and you'll automatically have access to that. So anyways, that's it for housekeeping. Did the Forex, nothing else on the board, on the docket for today. We can go over tomorrow. Nothing tomorrow either. I mean, you have a bunch of yellow folders here, some construction spending. There may be some focus on there. And then on Friday, we finished a week with average hourly earnings and the non-farm unemployment change in unemployment rate. And then you have some preliminary University of Michigan Consumer Sentiment report, which I find those numbers not to be so kosher there. I think they're more political than anything else. So anyways, let's get into things right now. If you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, like this video. Start with the VIX like we have been lately. The VIX is, definitely pulled back here since everything has started. However, we still have these open pointing controls I've been speaking about, or not pointing controls, these gap downs. 25.74 from April 8th, and then we had that last gap down at $30.34 from March 30th. So you got to watch those levels if you get up there and things start pulling back on the market, which crazy rally without any pullbacks. at some point you're going to get some kind of news that's going to pull these markets down. So you got to be careful there. However, right now, while we're below the 20 and below all these moving averages here, the 50 is way up here. There's no reason to think that the markets are pulling back just yet. So if the VIX elevates and gets above this $18.52, which is 20-day moving average, I would say that then you're going to start moving higher into the 100-day moving average at $19.52, and equities should have their pullback. So let's go over the oils, which everybody is probably well aware of right now. Big sell-off here on the oils from yesterday, about 10% or so. It's kind of bouncing back a little bit right now. Did pop below the 50 for a minute, and then the 20-day moving average. We are above the 20-day right now, so could possibly move higher into these lows here, into this 106 level here, right? Break and retest. Perfect. This is a perfect setup if you are trading oil stocks. You break a low, come back up, retest it, and then go back down even lower. So hopefully that is the case. It'll help our pocketbooks here on the States here. So we like this. We like oil here on the United States. This is crude. Below $100 a barrel right now. You can see we're in between the 50 and the 20-day moving average. 50 is at 93.14. The 20 is at 96.14. I'd like to see us lose the 50-day today and get down here, maybe touch this 87.42. And if we lose that, then I think we come back down. We can come back down to this 100-day moving average at $76.93 a barrel. That would be great. That'll definitely relieve us at the pump. However, I think that the gas prices are going to be elevated, about to hit the summer season, and there's really no reasons for the gas prices to come down while we're about to hit the heavy travel time. And especially all these oil companies, their stocks are getting definitely getting hammered a little bit today because of the oil prices and the potential Hormuz deal here. So let's get into the ES. ES, we've got pretty extended. The next level I have up here is 74.6570. It's a 161% extension on the Fibonacci level. I would not mind a pullback into this level here. This would be a pretty decent level, the 7,300 even number. It's psychological number. Same thing on the upside. It went up there. You're going to get some resistance. Same thing on the downside. If you pull back down to this level, you're going to get that same kind of response. And you can see a nice break and retest at 7,300. If you lose that 7,300, I think you come back down to the 72, 71.50. And then if you lose that, this will probably be a pretty decent level. I would say maybe not so much as 167. I believe that up there right now. But I think that this 7,200 level would be a nice pullback level if the market does get its pullback that we're looking for. So right now your thesis, even though we are at all-time highs here, should be pullback longs. There should be no reason to sell this until the market tells you to sell, right? And, I would say, if you kind of go out here to a longer range here, I would say if you lose probably this, you still have these open body control levels from the 15th at 7,034. Not a bad level here. I would say that the market pulling back here would be healthy. I would say if you lose this 7,034 level, I think you're going to get some downside, and you could probably get this downside all the way down into this 66.2345. That doesn't happen in a day, people. However, these are levels. Keep them up on your screen and pay attention to. I'm going to actually delete one of these levels right here. I'm going to get rid of this one. Remove too much cloud, too much noise here. And then I do like this point of control. I'm going to get rid of that one. Boom. So we clean it up a little bit. We will. What is that yellow number there? That is a point of control from the 15th. We're leaving that one. And then I'm going to get rid of this one. So that was an all-time high from the 26th. We don't need that. Okay, so we're all cleaned up here. Looking for pullback longs. Be careful here. If you get a big wick on this, this is a 4-hour chart. If you get a big wick on this 4-hour chart, I think we may have sniffed out some highs coming here. So, like I said, on the 7,300, you're going to get some, you're going to get some resistance there on the 7,300. right here, came up here like a rock star, bounced off it. Now we gained above it. So I'm going to say the same thing on the 7,400 level. You have to watch that 7,400. Let me see if I can get close to it, just so I don't waste any time. Oop. So we'll say, and we'll just adjust this to 7,400. Psychological numbers, always watch those levels. If you do pop up 7,400, you're going to get some resistance over there. Okay, so we'll get into the SPY right now. SPY is going to be very similar. The SPY, however, has not hit this 127% Fibonacci level at 734.01. Watch those levels right there. I don't mind a pullback into this 724.21, 24 rather. Not a bad level there. I would say, look at this. That's not bad. Actually, both these levels are pretty good here. Between 712 and 714, nice pullback level. We still have these open point of controls here. I'm going to get rid of this one right here, clean it up. This point of control, that's, oh, actually that was filled, but there's one from the 13th down here at 682.26 that's open. So if you do lose this 708.40, I think you're going to come down here. You definitely have some levels here that could give you some support, but I think this 682.26 would be a decent level if you pull back. It's right in line with the 50, and it's right in line with the 100. The 100 is at 684.53, and the 50 is at 681.62. So that would be a pretty good level right there for the pullbacks, right? So let's get into the NASDAQ. NASDAQ starting to get some sell-off here in the NASDAQ pre-market. You want to see some of that. We definitely want to get these levels pulling back. I would say your first pullback level, good levels, 27,931.17. Beyond that, I think the ideal pullback level would be this 27,462.50 level. That's a pretty decent level there. Let's see where we are for the. Yeah, so we're very extended. You know, I've been talking about this for a while now. We're very extended from our moving averages. So the market likes to gravitate back to these moving averages. I would say break in structure. If you lose this 27,130.25, I think the market could definitely give you some some acceleration on the downside. But you do have some great levels here. If the market does pull back, there's nothing wrong with the pullback, people. I mean, look at this ridiculous rally that we've had. This is straight up, okay? So I would say great pullback level will be 26,433.05. So pretty significant pullback all the way back down there, but we're in this for the long haul. So I would say your first line in the sand here, 26,921. Now this is more of a longer term feedback that I'm giving you here right now, right? So keep an eye on all these levels here. Take a snapshot, and then we're good to go. Everybody good? Great. Okay, Qs. We'll get on the Qs, and we're going to test on. We will get on with our day here. So the Qs, I have a level up here at 702.05. This is be a regressional trend line level that I've had here since April 5th of 2025. So that if you get up here, I think you're going to get some pretty decent resistance here at 702. Not only that, it'll align with the 700 level, psychological level that we talk about. I'd like a pullback to 666.64. That would be a decent pullback level. So today, however, you're still looking, your thesis is the same. They'll pull back longs. You're looking for levels. If the market does accelerate into these levels, you want to look for a bounce, right? If you pull back, there's nothing in this market right now that's telling you that it should be selling off. Why you think that because it's rallying like this, that it's got to pull back, it's got to pull back? Well, yeah, I agree with you. It's got to pull back, but it could still rally another 100 or 200, the Qs could still rally another 50, 60 points before it pulls back, right? So, that's another, close to 10% move on the upside. So you want to try to capture as much as you possibly can without sitting on the sidelines. There's so many people that are sitting on the sidelines from here, or maybe even from here, right? And this is 630 up to 689, and a 10% move. People have left a lot of money on the table right now, and I think it's mostly retailers. So anyway, so getting back to what I'm looking at right now, would not mind seeing a pop into the 700 level. If you get a pop into the 700 level, that'd be a decent level. I'd be looking to, maybe trim some profits and maybe sit back and wait a little bit and let the market subside. But at some point there is going to be some kind of pullback. It could be nasty at some point, at one point. However, hopefully your long term, you just kind of leave things alone and just have some dry powder on the side for when you do get a pullback, so you can get in at some better levels here. So let's get over to Tesla right now. Tesla, I want to talk about the indicator that I've been beta testing right now. Pretty good. Pretty good. Yesterday, tried breaking up on the upside, and then it was definitely an easy read yesterday. I got caught up in this first candle here, and then I was looking for pullback longs, right? And so I just I did not have a good day trading yesterday because the market did not give me that bounce I was looking for. But now, as I look at it after the end of the day, and I look at it, this should have been a easy day to read. So you just sit back and be patient. The problem is, you get it, you have some successful times and you trade and you make your money before 9:30, an hour after the market's open, and then you get it in your psyche like, okay, well, this is what I want to do. I only want to trade for an hour and I want to be done. Well, sometimes it's better that if you don't feel it and you have have some bad trades, step away, come back, and then take a look at the market. Because when I stepped away yesterday after I had a few bad candles here, I stepped away and I came back, and then I sat down, I looked at my computer, and it was a no-brainer read. Looking at this, pop and fades all day long. So on this new level this new indicator that I have here, here's the break of the 5 minute. Actually, let me make it down to 5 minute. 5 minute. Here we go. All right, so move it all over. So here we were yesterday. You had a nice 5 minute range here. Your 5 minute opening range was 400 on the high side, and on the low side was 393. Okay, so it definitely got popped, and this is the 5 minute, so a pop, pulled back, and you could have made some money on that, right? But on the 5 minute opening range break, this is where you should take the trade or figure out where you want to take that trade on the break. That's how some people set up their trades. You can do something completely different once you have this base. Okay, once this 5 minute range is open, is set for the day, you can make there's hundreds if not thousands of different trade strategies you can base, all based off this 5 minute opening range. So now, based on this indicator here, if you took the break here, the first level of profit here was 407.36, and the second take profit here was 410. Call it 410.65. Now, as you took it, so you can see right here, I've changed it from the bubbles to arrows because the bubbles just clogged things up. This arrow right here told me to take the trade. This yellow dot right here, an indicator pops on while I'm trading, and it says exit call or tighten up call, meaning shed some of your shares if you still want to stay in the trade, right? And so now it said this trade right here, this arrow, it got me in the trade. This block right here got me out of the trade. Market came back down. This arrow got me back in again, and this block got me back out. So there's two losing trades right here. However, this light purplish, this is an early entry trade right here. And if I had gotten in, I did get in, and I did make some money back there. However, if I had gotten in and I rode this out, I never would have been sweating at all on this trade here. So entry on this trade was about $3.95, and we got down to about $3.89, $6 move. This was the first take profit line here, though, right? So this first one is sitting at 387.20, and then the second one is sitting at 387.85. Now, what's interesting is they did not get hit. They did not get hit during the regular trading hours. However, the first price target got hit afterwards. So I'm still doing beta run on this and still analyzing it. However, while the market's trading right now, it's very helpful. So if you did not subscribe to our trading channel, you should do it. Come on in here to take a month and see what this is doing for us, because I think that this could be something pretty vital. And then what I do with the students that I mentor, I get all these different tools that I have up here. I give them all my tools here. Can you get them yourself? Sure. It's taken me a long time to build my tool. So what I do, I get scripts and then I adjust the scripts to my liking and to what I, to different levels that I like, right? So like, for example, here's another script that I'm playing with right now. It's automatically plotting my levels here. It's right now it's pre-market. It's showing it's showing the pre-market low. Oops, excuse me. It's showing what we have right now pre-market. It's giving your pre-market high. And these are supply and demand levels here. So it's automatically plotted. It's another level that I'm here. So anyways, in my mentoring classes here, I give all my students everything that's up here. And you can, if you have a Thinkorswim platform, you can be able to just cut and paste, and you're going to have everything I have on my screen and you're at your own fingertips here, though. So, but anyways, let's get back into it here. So let's just see if there's any point of controls that we have. Clean point of controls. We have nothing here from yesterday. We do have our point of controls that are still open. You got a filled point of control. This point of control right here, this is filled. So we can mark that as filled. All right, that is done. So we see that one is filled. However, we're going to leave that level up there for trading today. We'll see what happens there. On the downside, we keep speaking of this one point of control that we still have open here. Down here at 334.07, keep that on your charts, people. The market pulls back, we get there. Tesla's at 389. 334 is not that far away for Tesla, okay? 50 points, you're saying, oh, wow. Well, we all know Tesla. Tesla can giveth and taketh away. It can rip your heart out in 1 second. That being said, on the upside, we are caught in between this 50-day moving average and the 200-day moving average, and we are above the 20-day moving average, which is all positive, right? This is all bullish right now. So looking for pullback longs today on Tesla. Maybe you could look for a little pop and fade. It came up to the 200-day moving average yesterday, rejected it like a champ, and then came off it, right? So if you get through the 200, then you're pushing up into the 100 to 411.58. If you can get through that, then you start approaching these open point of controls we have above us. 455.12, that was set from January 5th of this year. And then 478.39 is our last open point of control above us. And that was set from December 26th of last year. So anyways, keep that on your charts for today, people. I would say for today, kind of want, if Tesla does lose this pre-market, post-market low, I think you come back down here, you'll probably go through the 50. And then this is probably your line in the sand right here. This 381.80, if you lose that 381.80, you've got the 20 to give you a little support at 376.71. And then if you lose that, then I think you start heading south again and coming back down to these other levels that we have here. This is a break and structure level that I have at 368.33 on the downside too. So that would be a level that if the market does get some selling pressure, these levels would be in there. But below that 365, there are some levels that I have there. I know that for sure. So below the 365, not much actually. 351 is your first line here that I would have for support on the downside here. So regression, midline regressional trend line, and that was set from the high of December 25th. So that level you're going to have to pay attention to. And then, of course, this point of control, which I wish that we would have filled back at, I think it was in March. And now we could just continue to move higher right now. So what I'm looking at today, I think what we're probably in right now, let me just back this up a little bit. 30, give me 10, good. I think we may be, in this little channel here right now. So you got to watch this channel here. So between this 385.16 and, you could say this 200 from yesterday, but I'm gonna bring it back down here to this 397. So I think we could be in a 397.82 to 385 range today. So, or not necessarily today, currently. So watch these levels right now. I think if you lose 385.16, you could see right here, there's not much below us here, right? So 372.54 is my next level of support that you would have there. So you got to watch that. We could just look at these levels that we have here on the charts here. Same thing. So watch those levels. Take a peek, take a snapshot of these different levels here. We're kind of right here at this 200-day exponential moving average. I think if we lose that, I think you're going to come down. You got a 20-day exponential moving average down here at 379.82. So that would be a level also that we could potentially come in there and hit. So let me just make sure that these are all lined up properly. Day. And then we will go, where where are you? 20. So let's see what happened yesterday. If these moved, nothing there. 20 came up a little bit, so I could adjust that to 23.8073. So it actually moved up almost a point. 380.73. Okay, so that's there. So you can see the 200 doesn't move that much, quite like the 20, right? Because this is a faster moving average, exponential moving average. And so the 20 200 rather. The 200, it'll move, very little. So like right now, the 200 is sitting from yesterday, 389.80. So it moved down a penny, right? So that doesn't move quite as rapidly as this 20-day exponential moving average. So this is a level. Let's take a look at it right here. Not a bad pullback level. If we do lose that 385 level, I like this 380.73 level where we could come back for a little support in there, right? It's also right just below that November monthly low at 382.78. So not bad levels, but you can see right now, since we hit that 200 moving average yesterday, kind of stepping lower here right now. So I would not be opposed to a little pop and fade today, or maybe just a very aggressive sell-off to these levels so you could take it higher. But I think that there was some pretty significant selling that came in here yesterday after the open. So you have to pay attention to that, right? Does it mean that Tesla's going back down to 200? No, it doesn't. It could just mean that people are taking profits off the table here because we have had this, pretty decent move with Tesla right now. But overall on Tesla's still, if you look at it, it's still kind of down right now. It's still headed down. Nothing, I'm not convinced on Tesla moving higher until we get above this 413.84. Even though we do get these intraday pops, once you fan out and you look at this 4-hour chart, this gives you that confluence or that confidence here. That 413.84 is your line in the sand to start moving higher. And if you get above that, then I think you start pushing yourself back up to these open point of controls that we have, and then you start moving higher here. So this regressional trend line here, this is a big line here. So if you lose this level right here, so I don't mind this 382.78 if you pull back in here, but if you lose that, then you start getting back into this regressional trend line channel. So you can see this is the midline here, right? So if you lose this, then it's all this down here, and that could take days and continue to move down, right? So watch yourself. You got a big wick up here in the pre-market here. Huge wick yesterday, right? So this is a 4-hour chart we're looking at, right? So you got a lot more data on a 4-hour chart than you do in a 5-minute chart, right? This is, that's where you make your money. You start out by looking at the larger chart time frames, and then you work your way down for your intraday trading. So now getting into intraday trading. Today, we're going to start with today's expiration date, and I'm going to start with the 390 calls. You can see we're below. Is that where we closed yesterday? We're kind of in between yesterday's close and the day before's close. Yesterday's close and Monday's close. So kind of caught in between these channels. I would say you could kind of base your trade off of this. If you break in, you lose this 389 level, you can take your short. If you break above, or you could take a long right here with your stop just below it. Or if you break above this 390.82 level and hold, you could take your longs up there, and then maybe you push into this 393 or maybe into that 394.64 level before you get some resistance here. But it could be a channel range day here. There's no real news. One thing I forgot to cover is AMD had some pretty good earnings yesterday. I think it rallied up like 70 points. Let me see what it's doing right now. 355. Yeah, so it's up about 65 points right now. So not a bad move for AMD. So that's helping all different stocks as well. So if you went over the 5-minute opening range trade yesterday, like we talked about when I was talking about the indicator that I'm beta testing right now, you could see, try to give you, a little false breakout to the top. You lost that. And then later on, this candle right here kind of told you that you're going lower, even though it pulled back. So right here at about 9:35, about a little over an hour after the market was open, broke that level here. Could you have taken that trade there? Sure. But to really give yourself some confidence here, you give let the market, this tells you, this is the trigger right now, right? So it tells you, okay, you broke just like this. on the upside. This is your trigger. Okay, the market broke the upside. So now I'm looking for, okay, am I going to take it long? Well, you could have on this one right here, and I think I actually did. I think I may have gotten long here, and then I got it stuffed in my face right here, right? So now you have to be okay with being wrong and getting out of your trade. So now here, it identified that the market broke, right? So we lost that lower level of 393.90. And so now you sit back and wait. So you could have taken a trade in here. Several areas people base their trades off of. This yellow dotted line here is the opening day trade. I have that on my charts every morning. And I do have a trade based off of that. I use that as a supply and demand area, right? So market broke it. So you could base a trade. You don't necessarily have to wait for the break of the 5 minutes. Some people use the VWAP. Some people use this opening day trade, and they use it as a level. So you broke it. Here was the break of that opening day trade, and here was the retest right here. Beautiful retest, and then boom. This is where you're, this is how you make your money, right in this area right here. You boom. Let me just see if I can do that here. Oh, can't do it. Not really good with that tool yet. But anyways, you get the picture, right? This is in this area right here. If I can draw this, let me see if I can draw this. Oh, can't draw it. Oh, maybe I can. Right in here. Probably like to expand it a little bit. Right there. That spot right here. This triggers you saying, okay, now I'm looking for a short. Some people could take a short bait, right in here. Or if you really want to be patient, you wait for the market to pop back up to your different levels that you have, and then you take your short from there, right? So anyways, that's pretty much it. This is the kind of stuff that we go over in the trading room, and we have time, right? Because you're not trading every second of that the market is open. So again, if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, like this video, and then go down in the description area to join our Discord community for the live trading from 9:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. If I don't see everybody in there, I will see everybody tomorrow for the pre-market analysis. Also, if there's other stocks you want me to cover, just drop a note in the chat or come in the Discord and put it in the Levels channel. If I don't see you in the trading room, everybody